Hi guys, Dan Cooper here from Pro Tools Expert, and today I'm going to be quickly showing you around Reverberate 2 by LiquidSonics. For those that don't already know, Reverberate is a convolution reverb plugin available for Mac and Windows. It comes bundled with a wealth of great sounding impulse responses and the inclusion of the new Bricasti M7 library ready to use in music and post-productions. Reverberate 2 provides users with what seems to be an endless amount of control that enables users to creatively sculpt unique sounding spaces and ambiences for use in their productions. As I'm sure you're aware, there's quite a few convolution reverbs out there on the market, many of which don't even come close to the sound quality of the impulse responses within Reverberate 2, or even the amount of control that Reverberate 2 has to offer. LiquidSonics have built upon their strengths and successes from version 1 by adding some new features, one I'll talk about shortly. But first, let me touch on some of the main areas within the Reverberate version 2 GUI. Like version 1, users can use two impulse responses at the same time within the plugin. Users can either select from the bundled impulse responses, or load their own from which they can mix and blend between. We can select and edit each impulse response at the top here, impulse response 1 and 2. The browser at the bottom enables us to select the impulse responses and shows us what bank we have already selected them on. So for this example, I have impulse response 1 loaded as piano music and impulse response 2 as plate 001. At the top, we have control over length, envelope shape, width, and topology. Okay, so I have a voice clip here. I'm just going to stick it in loop and I'm going to work with just impulse response 1, and I'm going to play around with some of these settings so you can kind of hear and see what happens on the display. Okay, so you kind of get the idea. All of them sound brilliant. Really, you need to get the demo and have a really good play through all of these yourself. Back to the top, what is topology, you're probably asking? Well, this is part of the reverb that lets you select how the reverb will react with mono and stereo source material. There's a handful of settings to choose from, with this little display showing us what's going on. We have mono to stereo, parallel, and you can see for stereo, it goes from left to left, right to right. True stereo. This is used for a more realistic stereo reverb. The left channel goes to both the left and right, and the same for the right, goes both to left and right. And at the bottom, we have the all-new setting, Fusion IR. Fusion IR claims to be the ultimate method of generating a realistic representation to the stereo fill within a convolution reverb. LiquidSonics claim themselves that true stereo is close, but Fusion IR will really give a much more natural sounding stereo reverb. So moving along, at the top, both impulse responses 1 and 2 have their own EQ sections found next to them here. These can be turned on at the top right or off. Jumping across to the right, and we have the mixer from where we can blend the two impulse responses together. So all the way to the left is impulse response 1 and 2, which is the plate, and anything between. We can also affect the overall wet-dry effects.
I can't say what the future holds, but I know that it's worth waiting for.
And we can also tweak panning and gain some extra other bits at the top here. Both the mix page and the setting page display the internal routing of the reverb. This section also gives us the ability to turn parts of the chain on and off. The routing section here at the bottom clearly shows users what aspects within Reverberate 2 are engaged and where they sit in the path. It also gives the ability to either run the two impulse responses as a parallel feed here, as it's already set up. You can see from audio in, it goes to 1 and 2, meets up here at the LFO through to output. Or you can set it to series if you hit here and it goes from audio in through IR1, round the side, into IR2, out past the LFO, through to the output. Reverberate 2 also offers the ability to instantiate EQ, delay, and chorus after the impulse response chains. To the right, the audio out gives us the choice to output either in stereo or mono.
By
clicking this button.
What the future
Mono.
holds, but I know that it's worth
Stereo.
waiting for.
So those really are the main sort of points of Reverberate 2, but let me just show you a couple more little things I quite like under settings. So under the controls section here, we can set Reverberate 2 up as either an insert or aux send configuration. And the last feature I want to show you, which is quite a nice little one, and I'm always a fan of this sort of thing, is having the ability to change or personalise the colour scheme within the GUI. Well, Reverberate 2 also offer this, and this can be found under graphics, and Reverberate 2 has 5 options to choose from: deep blue, neon blue, elegant green, classic green, and deep purple. As we always say here at Pro Tools Expert, download a copy of the demo for yourself. LiquidSonics offer a generous 30-day free trial period that users can take advantage of to really test drive this reverb. Well done LiquidSonics for releasing a great update to an already great convolution reverb. This, I believe, is going to be a very popular reverb with both you music and post-production guys, as the depth of the control, ease of use, affordability, and quality of the impulse responses will inspire you to embrace Reverberate 2 in many of your future projects. I've been Dan. As always, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.